in the title, I was asked my opinion, Arteta in or Arteta out, questions answered live. Absolutely Arteta out. Arteta out. I can't understand what he does. I don't get it anymore. I don't get his tactics. I don't get his philosophy. I don't get the point for not signing a striker. I mean, how many transfer windows we had under Arteta? It's got to be 9 or 10 transfer windows. Still ain't replaced Aubameyang correctly. I mean, he wanted to get him out of the club. He was, bad behaviour or attitude problems or whatever it was. He wanted to get him out of the club. So he gets Aubameyang out of the club, doesn't replace him correctly. Like 9 or 10 transfer windows later, still haven't got a proper striker. Havertz, no, not a proper striker. Don't even know where he wants to play him. Sometimes he plays him in the midfield, sometimes he plays him false 9, sometimes a 10. Last night he was playing him out on the right wing. It's ridiculous, and I think the manager's clueless. I think the manager is clueless, and he's really comes. I've come to the end of my tether with him. I don't want him at the club anymore. I know I was been a bit indecisive. Some people call you a flip flop if you change your mind a few times. You've got the right to change your mind. You can change your mind. It's not illegal. People can change their characters. People can change their minds. So, I was at some point I thought, give him a chance, give him another chance. He's had 2 good seasons finishing runners up, although he ain't won no trophies. But still, two good seasons finishing runners up. Unlucky on both occasions, just not having enough to get over the line. But is that the player's fault or is it the manager's fault? Starting to come into fruition this season that the manager is definitely 100%. I know a lot of people said it from the start. I didn't want him at the start. I didn't want Arteta when we first got him. Didn't want him. Novice manager, first job, massive job at Arsenal. Hi, Savannah. Massive job at Arsenal. Too much. He's bit off too much than he can chew. And now we're reaping what we sow because this manager is not good enough. Eddie Howe scored him last night. Eddie Howe. We're talking about Arsenal. We're talking about Mikel Arteta. He's the Arsenal manager. It should say it on the thumbnail, Savannah. I was asked the question whether I want Arteta in or Arteta out, and it's Arteta out. Let me know if Arsenal fans are watching this. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you're Arteta in or Arteta out. Hello, Kenneth. Good to see someone new in the chat. Are you an Arsenal fan? If you're an Arsenal fan, put in the chat there. Are you an Arteta out or an Arteta in? I'm on the Arteta out club now. I've seen enough of this manager. He's driving me insane. Watching that football, watching the lack of creativity, watching the players that we've got who are talented players, not performing. Not performing. And it can't always be the player's fault. It's the way the manager's telling them to play. Why is Kai Havertz on the right wing crossing balls in 6'4", something like that he is, crossing balls in from the right to Jesus, who's under 6 foot. John Ronan in the chat. How you doing, John? You're another Arteta out now. We've been Arteta out for a little while now. I'm doing a second stream. I did do a match reaction last night straight after the game, but now I'm thinking of more of a reflecting more on it. And I just, let's talk about the front line. Let's talk about the apparent front line with Trossard, Martinelli and Havertz. I mean, Isak and Gordon was 10 times better than the three of them. Any three of them, any one of the Newcastle players, either Isak or Gordon, is twice as good as all 3 of our forwards, even Jesus. I would take Odegaard as well. Look, Odegaard was terrible. I would take Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest. I'd rather take him than Kai Havertz up front for us. Nottingham Forest are joint second with us as well in the league. They're doing really well, Forest. They've got some good players there. Morgan Gibbs-White. I would take him ahead of Odegaard. I would take Paqueta from West Ham. I would take Kudus from West Ham instead of Martinelli. I would take Gerard Bowen from West Ham instead of Trossard or even Jesus over on that right-hand side. You know, it's just, there's so many players that are playing for other teams that I would take in place of ours. I mean, what's happened to them? They've all regressed. Every player in that team. They're calling Declan Rice Declining Rice. Declining Rice, they're calling Declan Rice. Has anybody else seen that? I mean, I saw it on a video today. This is what they're starting to call Declan Rice. I mean, they've even found out, they've worked out how to counteract our set plays now, our corners and stuff. You know, when we cause chaos in the box, they're leaving players up the field. They're not leaving all the defenders in the box for us to cause the chaos with. They're leaving some out so we can't swamp the box with everybody. I mean, I think, who was it that... Was it a Champions League game that we played? Was it a Champions League game that we played when the first team to do that to us? And everybody started to follow suit. Everybody's copied them. So, let's just wait for some more Arsenal fans to come in the chat. Hopefully they'll pop in there. But we're Arteta out, mate. You know, it's reminiscent of the final few seasons of the Wenger era, when the fans were slowly starting to turn on Wenger over the last five or 6 years of his reign. And towards the end, it was like, it must have been about 90% of the Arsenal fan base who was Wenger in, changed to Wenger out, because they'd finally seen enough. But why are we waiting so long to see enough of Arteta? I know he's got that 2-year extension he got at the start of the season. Warranted or not, he's not good enough. He can't get us over the line. And you've got managers like, you've got Eddie Howe, you've got the Brighton manager, the German fella, I can't remember his name, but better manager than Arteta. Unai Emery, former Arsenal manager, better manager than Arteta. One more. The manager, I'd take the manager who's apparently going to go to West Ham, Graham Potter. I'd take him. I know he went to Chelsea and done nothing, but I would take him over Arteta at the minute. Graham Potter, Gary O'Neill, I would take him. I would take any other manager at the moment. John Ronan, waste Arteta hasn't a clue, and the worst thing, he's calling Pep for advice and tips. That is wrong, for fuck's sake. He needs to buy or get out, as I'm sick of this shit. All we hear is next season. Absolutely, John. That's all we hear. Oh, no, yeah, we'll wait till next year. We wait till the summer. We need a striker now. We need a marquee striker. We haven't got one. We all know that's what's missing. We've got Saka, the only player missing out of the squad, and the whole team capitulates. The whole team capitulates without Saka. Rosie, how you doing, Rosie? Make sure you're smashing the like button and subscribing. Thank you, miss. Rosie in the chat there. Arteta out, I'll gather Rosie. We're all going to be Arteta out, eventually, but I was just taking so long for the rest of the fan base to follow suit. We've got to open our eyes. If you can't back Arteta after that performance last night. Hey, mate, hope you're well. I'm fine, thank you, Rosie. A little bit under the weather, a bit chesty. But, I'm okay. Clearly not the right person for the job. You mentioned about buying me players. He changes the subject. Yeah, he does. He doesn't give nothing away in his press conferences. He doesn't let anybody know about how fit the players are. Or, he likes to keep everything, his cards close to his chest. But, who gives a shit about the opposition fans? You've got a show with Tractor Boy Anthony tonight. That's tomorrow, Rosie. Thursday night, 7:30, the final score. If you go to my channel, you should see it there. Click on the lives. You'll see it there. It's all scheduled, so you should be able to see that. What was I saying? Yeah, we need a striker. We need someone who can finish his dinner. Look at Isak. And he stays in the middle. I've got a notification on, buddy. Oh, okay. Yeah, you should get notified then when it goes. Sometimes YouTube doesn't send out the notifications though. Sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't always send them out for some reason. I get that every now and again. People don't get notified when I'm live. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, the striker Isak stays central. There was times last night. Kai Havertz was playing out on the right wing. If you noticed, I have mentioned it, but it's ridiculous. Jesus drops deep. Havertz drops deep. I mean, where does Havertz play? Is he a striker? Is he a false nine? Is he a midfielder? Is he a number 10? Is he a winger? Who knows? Arteta just tries to play him all over the place, and he's trying to be clever. He's trying to outsmart the opposition, but he got outsmarted. He got schooled last night. Absolutely schooled. So it looks like, I'm just looking over at Sky Sports News. They're having talks with Graham Potter, apparently, West Ham, to replace Lupateki. So, you know, I think that'd be a good signing for them. I'll take Potter, as I said just now. I'll take Potter. I will take Potter over Arteta, mate. I'm telling you. But they've cancelled the scheduled meeting, apparently. And Lopetegui's took training today. But there are still positive talks with him, with Graham Potter. So, you know, he could be the new West Ham manager. You know, I'd take Kudus and Bowen over Martinelli and Trossard. Would you? Absolutely. We need someone this window. We need to get them signed quick because we've got Man United in the FA Cup the weekend. Then we've got Tottenham on Wednesday and Villa the following weekend, I believe. So, I mean, if we can't get anyone in time for the FA Cup game, then let's get someone in time for the Tottenham game. Let's get a striker. We need someone who's going to stay central. We need someone who's going to stay... Did you notice Odegaard last night? Did you notice what he was doing? Kept putting his foot on the ball and then stopping his momentum running forward. So putting his foot on the ball and then turning around and passing back. What is all that about? You don't see that. You don't see that with any other team. Man City don't even do that. You don't see Man City just... When they're going forward, they're going forward. They don't often stop, put their foot on the ball, have a look around and then pass sideways or backwards. I've not noticed that. I've not noticed that so much with Man City, but with us, for some reason, it's boring. It's not attacking, it's not direct, it's just playing around. Newcastle were brilliant at the press last night. They was pressing us. And like there was in the first 15 minutes, there was loads of mistakes. Raya made 2 mistakes, give the ball away, kicking out from the back along the floor. Then he started going long. But Saliba and Gabriel's, you know, their mentality, their telepathy was off. You know, Gabriel was stepping up and Saliba was dropping. It was like that. Instead of both stepping up together, they weren't in tandem. I don't know what was going wrong with them. Julian Timber had a terrible game as well. He was crap. Declan Rice was running his arse off. He was doing everything he could. But, you know, obviously he can't do everything on his own. And where does he play? What's his position? I mean, last season in that number 6 role, we was brilliant. We was solid. He protected that back four with Thomas Partey as well, double pivoting sometimes. One sits, one goes. It was brilliant. But he's playing in the 8, in the 10. He's even running out wide as well. What's going on there? Box to box. He's trying to make him look a little bit like a Lampard type of player. He's not a Lampard type of player. He's not. I've realised that. I've watched him. I mean, last season, he was brilliant holding. Looks like he could be our new Patrick Vieira. But why is he trying to alter his game? He's 25, 26. He can't alter his game at this age. Can't. Why would you want to do that? You start changing players' positions when they're in their late teens, early 20s, maybe 2021 maximum. You don't, if you want to try and convert a winger to a striker, or if you want to try and convert a centre half to a defensive midfielder, like West Ham did with Declan Rice. To be fair, like they did. But anyway, listen, we've got to be Arteta out, mate. I want to see in the chat. I want to see everyone in the chat putting their comments in. Potter would have been a good England manager. Yeah, Rosie. Quite possibly. Eddie Howe was my favourite for that. We've got Tuchel now, haven't we? German. I mean, There was a lot of controversy over that. There's a lot of divided opinion over that, but I wasn't bothered. I wasn't bothered. I mean, I'm not even bothered about international football, to be honest. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. It bores me. I only like watching it in the final stages of the World Cup or the Euros. I don't watch none of the friendlies, none of the Nations League, and I don't watch none of that. I'm a neutral, bud, Glasgow Rangers fan. Ah, Glasgow Rangers. Yeah, there's another fan that comes in the chat for who's a Rangers fan as well. There is another one. I can't remember his name. I ain't seen him for a little while, but he comes in as the Blue Baron. I think the Blue Baron. He's a Rangers fan that comes in the chat. You might know him, but I haven't seen him for a little while either. So what would you do with Mikel Arteta, Rosie? Would if you just imagine if he was you was an Arsenal fan and you could see all them star players really are underperforming. What would you do? What would you do? Would you get rid of him? Would you sack him? Because I think he's got to be sacked. I don't think he warrants this new 2-year extension. I don't think he's done enough. I see something. I didn't click on it, but I see something that he was saying something about the ball. There was something wrong with the football last night. The actual ball. I think, what the hell are you talking about, bro? What the hell? Newcastle played with the same ball. But Isaac didn't have any trouble scoring with it, and nor did Anthony Gordon. I don't understand it. And the tactical awareness of Eddie Howe was leagues above Arteta. They got their 2-0 lead, and then what they did is they just went, Gordon, have the ball, you ain't scoring. That they could tell that we're toothless up front. And what he did is he sat in 2 banks of 5 and said, come and have a go at us. I know we created plenty of chances. I mean, Martinelli hitting the post. Havertz missing an absolute sitter. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know how. I mean, I think even I could have scored that goal. That attempt. It's just, I don't know. I think we had about 24, 25 attempts with two or three on target, something like that. I don't think it's Arteta's fault, mate. I think there's a problem with the mentality in the team. Arsenal have the best keeper in the EPL. I don't think so, mate. I think Emi Martinez is probably the best keeper in the league, and we had him. Saka is world class. Partey went missing at the weekend. Yeah, a lot of players are going missing, but it's how the manager's telling them to play. Why would you play Kai Havertz on the right wing? Odegaard may as well have sat last night. What is wrong? What is going on? Yeah, exactly. Odegaard he goes missing in these big games. He's all right against the lower level teams, but in tough games against tough teams, I mean, we're supposed to be better than Fulham, on paper, but we couldn't beat Fulham. We ain't been able to beat Brighton. We ain't beat Newcastle for God knows how long. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We couldn't even beat Bournemouth. It's terrible. It's terrible football, and we're supposed to be like one of the best teams in Europe. What is going on? We can't score. We can't score. Oh, we score from all over the pitch. Yeah, where's the goals then? The goals are dried up. Saka's out, the goals are dried up. What's going on? To be honest, I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I think you're missing Ben White. Yeah, I think we're missing Ben White. Ben White and Saka on that right-hand side. They make Odegaard a better player as well. Because Odegaard, them three, because Odegaard drifts out to the right and teams up with Saka normally, if you watch it, yeah. Ben White's behind there, or he overlaps. He doesn't overlap very often, but sometimes he does. But them three on that right hand side. Most of our last season, most of our success was down that right hand side with Ben White, Odegaard, and Saka. That's where it all was. It was rarely over on the other side because we haven't got a proper left back. If we've had Kieran Tierney playing last season, the left back, Martinelli, and then perhaps like Havertz going over with them, or Declan Rice maybe, or something, we could have had a better output on the left as well. But the right, predominantly last season, that's where everything was, and that's where all our success come from. And Ben White's a brilliant right back. We bought him from Brighton as a centre back, as a centre half. But at right back, he excelled. So at centre back, I don't think he was that great. Paid a lot of money for him as well. The question to ask yourself is: have Arsenal moved forward and progressed in the last 4 years? Yes, they have. They have, because when he took over, I think we was down in about 11th. Oh yeah, I think we have progressed, but now we're regressing. I think Arteta took us as far as he can. You know, certain managers can take you to a certain level, and then they've got to step aside and let somebody else come and push you over the line. I mean, Enzo Maresca, Arne Slot, first seasons in the Premier League with Chelsea and Liverpool. Liverpool running away with the title. Chelsea are a much better team this year. Top two from 11th. Yeah, it is. But we haven't won no trophies. We haven't won no trophies. I mean, this season we should really, if we were in the top two, we're not going to be in the top. I don't think we're going to be in the top four this year. The performances I've seen this season have made me think we're going to struggle to get into the top four. And then his days should be numbered. Then his days will be numbered, possibly, Arteta. But we need a manager. We need a proper fucking manager, man. But I can't name anyone specifically at the moment, because I don't think there's many managers that are available or that would want to come to our club at the moment. But managers like Eddie Howe are schooling Arteta. I mean, he hasn't won anything. Newcastle ain't won nothing for like 50 odd years. I mean, they quite possibly can go and win this League Cup now. And I hope they do, because I don't think we're going to, when we go back to St James's Park, I don't think we're going to overturn that 2-0 deficit. I don't think we've got any chance of that at all. Especially the form of Anthony Gordon and Isaac and, Tonali, Joel Linton, Murphy, Lewis Hall in defence. What a defender he is. What a fullback he is, Lewis Hall. This year would have been the ideal to capitalise because of City's situation. Exactly that, Rosie. I almost feel like everyone not at their best just now. Liverpool are flying, mate. Who would you have to manage Arsenal? Anybody else? Absolutely. I mean, you can be unrealistic and say, Carlo Ancelotti or Zinedine Zidane or someone like that. But Zinedine Zidane ain't going to want to come to here. Ancelotti's already been to the Premier League, hasn't he? With Chelsea and Everton. I don't know. I'd even take an Jose Mourinho. I'd even take someone. I would take him because I don't think, at least he's a winner, proven winner. I know he might be a bit past it now, so maybe that's probably overreaching a little bit. Just trying to think on my feet a little bit. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'd have to have a little think about it. There was that German manager, the ex. I can't think of his name. The ex-Germany manager. I can't. His name's gone right at me. Yeah, Lewis Hall, wicked little player, mate. Excuse me. He could be a future England player on performances this season. He's been magic. You're right. He has been magic. Brilliant. But I mean, I don't think it was the right choice. I know sacking Unai Emery at the time was probably the right thing to do, but then going for Mikel Arteta, unqualified, unproven, first job, massive job, loads of pressure. Is he under pressure? No, he just got a 2-year deal, so he's not feeling the pressure. They're happy just to sit with him and just wait. I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's quite disappointing. And he's got to go, man. He's got to go, because we're never going to win anything under this manager. We're not going to win anything under him, Rosie. Definitely not. And I mean, I did say at the start of the season, give him the season. Or no, I didn't say that. Sorry, I said give him to the Christmas. But they give him a 2-year deal in the summer. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. But the last 2 years finishing runners up was painful as well, if you know what I mean, because the 2 years ago when we capitulated and dropped off after being like top of the league for 90% of the year was a bit heartbreaking. And the following season we got a little bit closer. I think the first season we were second, it was 6 points behind. Last season it was 2 points behind. 2 points we missed out on. And the game against Villa, if we'd have beat Villa last season in the April, I think it was, at the Emirates, last April, if we'd have beat Villa that game, we could have won the league. We could have won the league, and we've got Villa in 2 games' time. We've got United in the cup. Then we've got Spurs on Wednesday. Then next weekend we've got Villa, and they could upset us again. They could write us out of the top 4. They really could. I could totally understand your frustration with Arteta, but there has to be a good replacement for him. Yeah, there has to be. But get a proven fucking manager. Get a proven winner. Go and look around. I mean, I'm not an encyclopedia of managers. I don't know every manager, but I mean, there's got to be a manager coming close to the end of his contract or some sort of clause. You can buy a top manager out. There's got to be someone. There's got to be a proven winner. Someone who's more experienced, man. Someone who's better with the players, better with man management, better with tactical in-game decisions. I mean, look at them substitutions. Why are you taking off Lewis Skelly and bringing on Zinchenko when we need a goal? Why are you taking off Thomas Partey and bringing off Jorginho when you need a goal? Now, them 2 substitutions there were ridiculous. I know the one when he brought Jesus on for Trossard was shit. It was absolute shit. Diabolical. 3 out of 10 performance. Feigning injury towards the end of this first half, if you remember, if you watched the game. He was feigning injury, making out that... I didn't, it was that bad. He was acting that bad, limping about. I didn't expect him to come out for the second half, but he did. He come out for the second half and then he was running about again. But doing nothing. Doing absolute nothing. The shining light of that game... The only shining light of that game is Miles Lewis-Skelly, and I thought he was fantastic, and he's a good prospect. Wasted at left back as well. Although he's doing all right there, he's doing good there. To be fair, he is doing good there, but he's wasted at left back because he's a midfielder. You could tell he was inverting into midfield, and he was having he had 2 players on him because he was playing so well. He beat 2 players and laid the ball off at a certain moment in that game, if I remember. Yeah, he laid it off. I think he laid it off to Trossard or something, didn't he? But they tried to swamp him, and he's done a little dip of the shoulder, and he beat 2 players at once that tried to swamp him. So he's a shining light, and the other one, Ethan Mwaneri, he's out for about 3 or 4 weeks as well. It's we need to address the striking situation. We need to buy a striker. I agree. No one was marking Isaac, though. No one was marking... But Isaac plays centrally, Rosie, right? He plays he's a striker. He's a proper number 9 striker. He plays in the centre. And he's strong, he's powerful, and he can finish his dinner. He can hit the target, and we haven't got a striker that does that. We haven't got a forward that stays central. You've got to play in the middle all game. Watch Isaac. Watch him. He's in the middle. He runs up the middle. Where a striker's supposed to be, and no one. He's just strong. He just bodied our defence. Our defence was terrible. It's the worst I've seen them play for 2 years. It's the worst I've seen them play. Them 2 last season they become the best centre half partnership in Europe, I believe. This season, they're probably the best centre-half partnership in the league until last night. Because they was absolutely crap. They weren't in tandem. They weren't on the same wavelength. They had, even Lee Dixon and the other commentator last night said they've got to have a chat. I've never seen them play this bad. I keep looking over there because I've got Sky Sports on, by the way. I was just looking out for some breaking news or anything. There's a Bournemouth player that's the Bournemouth striker, Eunice Unal. He's got an ACL injury, so he's out for the season. He's got that in training. Yeah, he's got an ACL injury in training, so he's out for the season. And all it's saying is just coming. It's not said anything about Lopetegui's position at West Ham. The meeting has been scheduled for today, has been cancelled. That's all it says. There's nothing going on, but I think we should be actively seeking a striker. And listen, go and get Gyökeres. He's got a buyout clause with the profit and sustainability rules, or what they call the financial fair play, whatever ones that it is now. Is not going to apply to us for this January because our accounts or whatever it is, we can still take an £164 million loss apparently. So, and there's an £80 million buyout clause in Victor Gyökeres' contracts. Just go and sign him. Go, or at least just ask him if he wants to come. If he wants to come, give Sporting Lisbon the 80 million and bring him on. Bring him on. Why do you think Arteta isn't giving updates on players who are out of injuries? If it's like a mind game thing with the opposition, but I mean, it's not about the opposition, is it? It's about the fans as well. Arsenal's own fans. We want to know how fit our players are. We want to know if they're going to be playing. Who gives a shit about what the opposition teams think? You know what I mean? So what if they know that we've got fit players? I think he just tries to say so they can't plan on how to play against us in certain aspects. But I mean, that's all I can get from it. But I don't understand why he doesn't let anybody know, apart from that reason. There ain't no other reason for it. Because he's a bit narcissistic. He's stubborn. Like I'm not wrong. Like he's always right. He's not wrong, and he doesn't want to be proved wrong by saying something that might prove him wrong. Like, oh yeah, he'd be fit for the game. Maybe it's that, and he's not fit. If you know what I mean, it might be that. It might be his narcissism, and his stubbornness and his arrogance that I was in back from saying that. If he's tight-lipped about everything, I know, but be tight-lipped about a dressing room bust-up, but don't be tight-lipped about the fitness of a football player. The fans want to know. I mean, if 5 of your top players are not playing, you're going to expect an hiding, and you might not want to go to the game. Save yourself a few quid. You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows what his reasons are? I could only think it's just because he's a prick, basically. He's a prick, in my opinion, and I've lost it with him. I've seen enough. And I was backing him. So I mean, I'm not trying to feel entitled. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to think that he's an entitled Arsenal fan. It's not about that. It ain't. We deserve better. We do. Could it be that he genuinely doesn't know how long they'll be out? He knows everything. He knows everything. Of course, he's going to know how long they're going to be out. Well, he'd know it down to a few days or so, until they're fit enough to go training, because what are all the physios there for? What's the medical team for? They've got scans, they've got this, they've got all the equipment, they've got the know-how, they've got the top doctors, the medics, physios. They know. The player himself, obviously they interact, they speak. Of course they know. Of course, unless it's a horrific injury. If it's you can never tell. Like Saka, we don't know for sure. They're estimating end of March, but a hamstring. Apparently his hamstring was hanging off. So he probably won't be the same player. You get these players coming back from broken legs and I don't know, whatever other injuries, ACLs. Some of them come back all right, but hamstring injuries, like if it's as bad as what I've heard, like the hamstring was fucking hanging off the bone, proper torn off the bone, then is he going to be the same player when he comes back? Is he? I mean, I think he's been possibly, to a certain extent, he's been absolutely kicked the shit out of for the last 3 or 4 years, and he's been overplayed because we've not had anybody on there to rotate him with. And we still haven't, really. We still haven't, we had Reece Nelson last season, wasn't rotating him enough. We had Sterling this year. We've not used him. The point of bringing Sterling in was to back up for Saka. Hardly used him. Big up Football Dad's Army. Arteta out, gone now. The channel's different, Anthony. Why did you make me say Football Dad's Army? We've changed the name. We're now called the Arsenal Alliance. The Arsenal Alliance. We're not called Football Dad's Army anymore. He's been detrimental to Arsenal at times. It's a major loss. I hope he's back soon and is in full fitness. I can't see him coming back this season, Rosie. I can't see him coming back this season. I know it's really sad, but you know what? I'd rather him not come back this year and be ready for next season than to rush him back and for him to, like, you know, aggravate the injury or get a second injury. I'd rather him just sit there, make sure it's 100% ready, and then just wait for him till next year. Go and buy a fucking winger. Go and buy Nico Williams. Get him for 58 million. Go and buy him. Atletico Madrid. I think he's got a buyout clause as well, 58 million. Go and buy Williams and Gyökeres. Go and do that. Apparently we've got 160 million that we were allowed to lose this year. Just go and spend the money. Claw it back. I know, mate, winding me up. Hi, Rosie. That's hi, Rosie from Anthony. All good, bud. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, it's an Arteta out video, Anthony. I wanted to see how many fans are there. See if there's any more fans out there who want him out, because he is absolutely the top of my list. Do you know what? Let me tell you this, right? If I had a choice of signing even Alexander Isak, or sign Isak and keep Arteta, or don't sign Isak and get rid of Arteta, it wouldn't be an easy choice. It wouldn't be an easy choice. I think I'd lean towards leave Isak wherever he is, just get rid of Arteta. Seriously. I would seriously consider, even though if Isak come under Arteta, he'd probably regress him anyway. So, yeah, it'd be, in fact, I've made my mind up. Let Newcastle keep Isak and let's get rid of Arteta. If that was a choice, hypothetical choice, obviously. I never wanted him in the first place. Either, Anthony. You know I didn't. I didn't want him in the first place. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We should have gone for an Ancelotti then. Who was that other manager that we could have got? There was another manager that we could have got at the same time. I know Jose Mourinho. Was he available then? I think he was. Did he go to Spurs then? I think he went to Spurs, didn't he? At that time. BQ. Look, I give people chances and I believe his time is up, bro. Absolutely. He's had enough time. I've seen enough. Oh, excuse me. I've seen enough. I've absolutely seen enough of him, and I just think he's took us as far as he can. Thank you for getting us runners up 2 seasons running after finishing 8th the first year, 8th the second year, then 5th, losing out on the Champions League to Spurs of all fucking teams, and then 2 second places. So yeah. Right now, it has to be Xavi. That's a good shout. Good shout. Is he available? That's a good shout. Xavi Alonso you're talking about, aren't you? It's a good shout, man. I mean, I had a little bit of a brain freeze. I couldn't think of any managers that I'd actually take, but I did. Oh, Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann, that's him. That's who I was thinking of, Nagelsmann. The German manager. Xavi, fuck me, Course Hernandez, sorry. Xavi Alonso, he was the player, wasn't he? Xavi Hernandez, that's him. Is he available? Is he available, Hernandez, Xavi Hernandez? Do you reckon? I don't think we can get Xabi Alonso. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I sometimes, because I got my eyes. I ain't got my glasses. Xabi, yeah, it looked the same to me for a second. Xavi Hernandez. Anybody else though? Would you take Eddie Howe? I'd take Eddie Howe off of Newcastle. Look how he scored him last night. Look at the team he's got. Look at how them players have improved. Look at Anthony Gordon. Look at Jacob Murphy. You know, Isaac, Tonali, Joel Linton. Even Joe Willock played well last night. You know, Lewis Hall, the left back, full back. Is he left back or right back? I keep forgetting if he's left back or right back. But yeah, brilliant little player, man. Future England player for me. Future England player. Last few times I've seen him, Zidane won't come to the Premier League. B-Cube. Zidane said that before. I've seen he won't come to the Premier League. De Zerbi, the old Brighton manager. De Zerbi. Anyone else? Anyone else? De Zerbi, he ain't won anything though, is he? Has he won anything, De Zerbi? I think we need a manager that's won something. We did have one in Unai Emery. But, you know, he lost the dressing room. I mean, if we'd have stuck by him like we stuck by Arteta, 8th and 5th. I mean, he only took over. When did he take over? He took over this time, was it December when he took over? And we was in 11th. I think it was December, wasn't it? Yeah, it was before the FA Cup started, just before. Yeah, it was December. I always said Arsenal's tactic is pass the Saka. When that doesn't work, it's like headless chicken, man. Yeah. Oh, shit, nearly kicked it over. Yeah, exactly that. And without Saka, look, he was the only player that we had a full strength team basically last night. The only player missing was Saka. You know, Lewis Skelly on left back. I mean, he's better than Calafiori, so I mean, you can't argue that. But one player down. Look how poor he was. Look how poor Odegaard looked without Saka next to him. Mark Gelford's big on Arsenal banter. I can't take it anymore. Who do you support, B-Cube? Who do you support? Shakhtar manager. He's won 5 trophies in 8 seasons. Yeah. What's his name then? I can't think of his name. Shakhtar, the next manager. Was they the team? Was they the team that worked out, the first team that worked out our corners? You know when they left some outfield players on the halfway line, so it forced Arsenal to leave some players out of the box. Was it them? Playing devil's advocate, in 4 years, you've gone from 11th to 2nd. I don't think there's many managers who could do that for you. Marino Pusic. Okay, Marino Pusic, yeah. I think there's probably a lot of other managers that could have done that. But there might have been a lot of other managers that have done that and won us a trophy. And not spent like 850 million. And half of the money spent, 400 million of that money that he's spent has been on fucking pony as well. If he'd have spent the money correctly, we could have been winning titles. We could have been winning trophies. James Lau, how you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Happy New Year to you as well. Oh, that was Monaco. Was it Monaco? Okay. Yeah, they started leaving players on the halfway line, so we couldn't cause all the chaos in the box because we had to leave 2 players up with them. At least was it 2 or 3 players there on the halfway line? We had to leave players out of the box, didn't we? Do you remember? Yeah. What about the old Germany coach? I forgot his name. Did I say Nagelsmann? Is that the guy, Nagelsmann? Bollocks game last night. Shocking. Absolutely, James, man. Shocking game. Shocking game. I done a match reaction straight after as well, and it was. I was fucking fuming, furious. He just looked there, like looking at his watch, clueless. Arteta, I'm talking about. We need a goal, and he takes off Skelly and brings on Zinchenko, man. Come on. Takes off Partey and brings on Jorginho. It's Joachim Low, yeah? Joachim Low. Yeah, no, that's who I meant. Yeah, but there's loads of managers, man. I can't, you know, there's a load of good managers there, and it's just finding the right one. It's finding the right fit as well. I mean, I don't think the players that we've got fit what Arteta's trying to do either. I just don't think it's just something's not right. Lowe's 65 now, is he? Would you take him over Arteta? That's the question. Would you take him over Arteta? Because I think you would. I'd take fucking Sam Allardyce right now over Arteta. I'm telling you, it is starting to really annoy me, man. I mean, West Ham are going to go and get Graham Potter. It looks like. Would he be a better choice? Oh, I know he didn't do well at Chelsea, though. To be fair, he bit off a bit more than he could chew there. Trouble is that would only be short term. Yeah. No, not old Sam. Yeah, that was a joke. It was a joke. It was just that I'm hating it right now so much. I'll take Big Sam any day. There's a lot of good managers, but I think we're in danger of falling into another Wenger trap where we give Arteta chances because he saved us. I said that earlier on in the stream. I said it's like the last 5 or 6 years of Arsene Wenger, when it was just nostalgia and just like loyalty, I suppose, that was keeping him at the club. That, you know, it did get to the point where 90% of the fans that I know did eventually go for the Wenger out, get on the Wenger out bandwagon. I think it's going along them lines. I think it is. I think the fans, there's a lot more fans turning. Now, I've watched AFTV, and there was only 2 fans on AFTV that never said they wanted Arteta out. And it was Julian and Ty. You know, they're still very ultra positive. Even Robbie was saying, himself, is it time for him to go? You know, and he's a staunch advocate for Arteta, or has been. He looked stumped last night, out of fault and no tactics. Listen, what tactics do you need if you had a proper striker? If we had an Isaac, if we had a Gyökeres, if we had an Osterman, if we had an Ollie Watkins, what do you need? Give the ball to him and then he scores a goal. Stays in the middle. A player that'll stay in the middle. Where a number 9, where a striker's supposed to play. Kai Havertz was out on the right. I've said it earlier on. Kai Havertz was playing on the right wing. Did you see it? He was trying to cross balls into Jesus. Like, you know, size difference is that. It is unbelievable. It is fucking believable. It just gets so frustrating. It winds you up so much. I don't get the positive. I can't take any positives. That's what I meant to say. I can't take any positives from recent form. The Brighton game. All right, unlucky to get that unprecedented penalty. Clash of heads. Still, we should still do more. Arteta really created a good atmosphere. The fans are back in love with the club, and you have players that really have some drive. He has done an amazing job. Now it's time to go to the next level, but he can't get us to the next level. This is what I'm trying to say, BQ. He has done a great job, and you know I'll take my hat off to him so far. But I think he's took us as far as he can. Oh, hold up a minute. There's. Oh no, sorry. I thought I see something. Feel bad for folks who forked out cash for that game last night. Yeah. Well, lucky it weren't at St James's Park and they've had to travel all the way up there. How many fans are going to go and watch that? How many Arsenal fans do you think are going to travel up to St James's Park being 2-0 down? We're not going to overturn that. We're not going to get qualified for the final. We're not going to go be going to Wembley. I don't think there's any chance of that. I'll be surprised if I think they had over 6,000 fans at the Emirates last night, 6,300 or something. I think someone said. We won't take anywhere near that. If 2,000 fans go, to St James's Park next month, I'll be surprised. I'll be very surprised, unless it'd be worth going and see this month we go and buy 2 or 3 players, top marquee signings, and just beat and we beat Man United. Or if we beat the games in between, so we've got Man United, then we've got Tottenham, and then we've got Villa. I'm not sure who we've got after that, but unless we start smashing teams up and buying some marquee signings, something for us to go and all right, we're 2-0 down, but now look at us. We've got a Eucharist. We've got who else have we got? Nico Williams. We've got Xavi Simmons. We've got someone. We've got some players that could give us a bit more excitement. Do you know what I mean? We've got Kudus. We've got someone who can take the game by the scruff of the neck and run with the ball and cause chaos and try and get some goals back. Unless we do that, I'll be shocked if more people go. But if we don't do any business this January, I can't see anybody going up there. New players need time to bed in. Once we lost Saka, Arteta was exposed. Yeah, not all new players need time to bed in. Look at Ireland. Ireland didn't need time to bed in. He scored over 50 goals in his first season at Man City. Not all players. If you get the right quality, mate, they don't need time to bed in. They do their bedding in on the training pitch, mate. And some. All right, I do agree to a certain extent because some players do need bedding in, but not all players. Not all players. I mean, Henry needed time, but he developed into one of the world's best ever strikers. He developed into it. But if you buy a striker that's already there, I mean, Henry was a winger. He converted to a striker under Wenger, but needed time to bed in, and he was converted. But if you already buy a player that's there, like if you went and bought Isaac, do you think he'd need time to bed in? I don't think so. Nobody ain't going to sell their best players halfway through the season, mate. All this we are linked with is bollocks. Yeah, no, I agree, but why? Why can't we go and get a player in Europe? I mean, I get that with the Premier League, but go Eucharist, go and buy Eucharist. He's got a release clause in his contract. If he wants to come to Arsenal, and we invoke the release clause, they haven't got a say in the matter. They haven't got a choice. They have to sell him. Our summer window was crap, and the winter one will be too. The summer window was, listen, Sterling, Marino, and who else was it? There was another player was on the bench that we got in the summer. Who was it? My brain's gone. Tell me in the chat. There's 2 anyway. There's 2 players that we bought in the summer to strengthen our squad, and we didn't use them. Why wasn't Sterling playing? Saka's out, Emmanuel's out, Sterling's on the bench. Why weren't he playing? Why weren't he used? Why are you putting Martinelli over there? Martinelli plays on the left. Or Trossard. I think they were changing sides. But they're not good enough in the same team. They can't play in the same fucking team together. They both play off the left. Both of them. They can't play off the right. If I see Marino do another backwards turn again, I'm breaking my TV. Did you see Odegaard, James? I was talking about this earlier on. Odegaard, he's running through with the ball. Now he's running in between two Newcastle players. It wasn't different. I think it was 2 midfield players. He's running in between them, and there's a gap there, and he can get through and have a shot. All he's got to do is get through that little gap, and he's through. But instead of taking another touch and then having a shot, he stops, puts his foot on the ball, turns round, and passes backwards. What the fuck? If he'd have had a little dig there, if he'd have just carried on with his run, he receives the ball, he's running forward, then he stops, puts his foot on the ball, turns round and passes back. What the fuck? Just run forward and have a dig. Odegaard looks he's fucking shit, mate. He's been shit. He has been shit. But the thing is, you can't drop him because we've got no one there on the bench to replace him. We've got no one there to challenge him for his spot in the team. There's no one. Who is there? Who is there to challenge Odegaard? I know Ethan, but he's injured. I just... Oh, mate. It is what it is at the minute, and we just got to accept that we're shit. We bought the wrong players in the summer. Marino, what a waste. What does he do? What does he do? Honestly, all right, he might have got a goal. Has he got 2 goals? He's got 1 or 2 goals. But, but that's not what we bought him for, really. We bought him to be the 6 or the 8, like, to be there with Declan Rice and to swap and change and to confuse players, and Declan Rice sits, Marino goes the other way round, whatever. But Declan Rice, he's doing everything. He's doing everything, man. Last season, he was there as the 6 or in a double pivot with Partey, and it was working, man. It was brilliant. Why are you trying to play him as a fucking Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard style player, box to box? Play him as the 8, play him as the 10. What the fuck? Marino has made Declan Rice worse. Yeah, listen, Arteta's made him worse, James. They're calling him Declining Rice. Other fans, rival fans, are calling him Declining Rice. He's regressing. This season, he's not being used correctly. He's not being utilised properly. And Arteta's just trying to be smart, trying to be clever. He's stubborn fucking knobhead. He's a stubborn knobhead, and he's fucking so frustrating. It's so fucking frustrating. Anyway, guys, there's a few people in the chat. There's only 7 likes. So if you ain't put a like on there, like it for us. Stick a like on the video, especially if you're an Arsenal fan. It'd be nice to know how many Arsenal fans was watching. Oh, it's just dropped down from 27 to 2. That's because I've asked for a like. I shouldn't have asked for the like. Let's have a quick look over Sky Sports News. There's nothing else happening at the minute. Still, I'm looking at this and I'm telling for the like. I'm looking at the Sky Sports as if it's all of a sudden going to pop up Arsenal sign Gyökeres. Arsenal put in table bid or for this one or for that one. It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen, mate. I don't know why I don't even know why I've got it on. I really don't. Yeah, it's frustrating. Right, I'm going to call it an evening. I will be back tomorrow night with Anthony, who's in the chat. James, make sure if you get time tomorrow, we'll be on the Final Score podcast, 7:30 tomorrow evening. You're watching Only Fools and Horses, are you? What one? What one you watching? My favourite one is Yuppie Love. Yuppie Love's my favourite out of them all. They're all brilliant. Every episode is brilliant. But Yuppie Love is brilliant. I've pressed it 13 times, Anthony. I'll take my 130 in a check. Have you pressed it 13 times? I've only got 7. You tried it, Rosie. The Batman and Robin one. Yeah, that was brilliant as well. That was a comeback one, wasn't it? Christmas special. But go and if you've got them all, rewatch that Yuppie Love. It's the one where Del falls through the bar. He also writes Rodney's name in his rain Mac. Rodney Trotter when he goes to the Adult Education Centre. Oh, it's fucking brilliant. I also like the one with the sunbed and all, where he turns the sunbed on and Rodney goes bright red. And then he makes out that he goes on the hang glider. Yeah, that's another good one. Well, I can't remember what that one's called, but that's a good one as well. Del Boy has to go on the hang glider and he can't fly it properly. He makes out he's a Marine or something like what do you call it? A commando. He makes out he's something like that. And it shows all off and he says about the car phone. We ain't got a car phone and he has to go off the cliff in the hang glider. That was a good one as well. Anyway, this is not an Only Fools and Horses channel, is it? While we're talking about Only Fools and Horses, I'm gonna go now. And listen, I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, kills me every time that guy calls Rodney Dave. Yeah, Trigger. Yeah, Come Home Rodney was filmed around the corner from where I lived at my parents' house. Oh wow. Oh, was that the one with the hang glider? Later. Well, okay. I'll see you later. Anyway, I'm off. Anthony, I'll talk to you in the chat. Don't forget, Anthony, before you go, don't forget, send me the list of topics for tomorrow night. And we'll go through them together later on in the WhatsApp chat. See you all later. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.